The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin and written by William Peter Blatty from his novel of the same name. It's a journey through the dark and the macabre, with box office receipts and Academy Awards to prove it. I don't want to do this, but I must be strong, because despite the notoriety of this film, a lot of people don't know much about it beyond the logline of girl gets possessed, girl gets exorcised. So, without further ado, let's get to the plot. And there will be no laughter this night, kiddies. Here we go. The film opens in Iraq, where Father Marin, a Catholic priest played by Max von Sydow, is taking part in an archaeological dig. He discovers a statue of the demon Pazuzu in the desert, which he interprets as an omen, although most of this is left up to the audience to piece together for themselves. Back in good old Georgetown, USA, on the eve of Halloween, we are introduced to our main plot. Ellen Burstyn plays Chris MacNeil, an actress starring in a movie being shot on the local college campus. She's temporarily rented a house to live in with her daughter Reagan, played by Linda Blair. Reagan discovers a Ouija board, and casually mentions how she has used it to contact a spirit she calls Captain Howdy.
Who's Captain Howdy?
You know, I make the questions and he does the answers.
Oh, Captain Howdy, yes.
Nice.
It's never played up in any way, but this is where everything starts to fall apart. Soon Reagan begins exhibiting unusual, even morbid behavior. Her bed levitates, and before you know it...
Lift me! Lift me!
Jesus Christ.
You know what she did? Your canting daughter?
The descent is a slow one, and we see Chris make every attempt to cure her daughter, thinking it may simply be a disease of the mind. The scenes where Reagan undergoes treatment are just as painful to watch, if not more so, than the possession itself. Eventually, Chris's boyfriend is found dead after spending the night looking after Reagan, which draws the attention of a detective who also happens to be a film buff.
You know, I love to talk film, discuss, to critique.
That's Lee J. Cobb, and he's one of the many hidden gems this movie has to offer. Running parallel is the story of Damien Karras, a priest who has lost his faith after the passing of his mother. Deeply troubled, he is haunted by not only her, but also the downtrodden of society. After more than an hour of screen time, Chris and Karras finally meet, embarking on a journey to save Reagan's soul together. Father Marin returns from abroad to confront the demon, and he becomes their one hope. Their only hope. The Exorcist. This really is an impressive movie. Going back to how few people know what The Exorcist is actually about, that's perhaps the film's most endearing aspect. It takes a very minute, almost clinical approach to examining a situation few of us are ever likely to experience for ourselves. If your daughter was possessed by a demon, you wouldn't believe it, and you would take every action possible to curing her before you actually even considered a priest or an exorcism. And that's what makes this so frightening. It feels real.
Miss MacNeil, since the day I joined the Jesuits, I've never met one priest who has performed an exorcism, not one.
Added to the fact that we, the audience, are aware the evil forces are real in this film, and the tension becomes so thick as to become almost unbearable.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
You'd like that?
All subsequent possession films owe a debt to Friedkin and Blatty for their work on this movie, and yet they spend all their time ripping off the finale instead of the stuff that really matters. The iconic exorcism is a relatively small part of the movie, and the reason it carries so much punch is because it is earned. You want to talk about faith? These guys knew they had us so hard by the balls that they could hold off on the real introduction of The Exorcist till the start of the final act. And the film is called The Exorcist. The entire cast is amazing, especially Jason Miller as Father Karras. He just seems so broken, and the nuance is a great juxtaposition to the chaos of the MacNeil family. Some of my favorite moments are the mundane ones where we see how he is emotionally affected by his daily routines. He does it with so little dialogue. I also love his interaction with the demon inside of Reagan.
Your mother's in here with us, Karras. Would you like to leave a message? I'll see that she gets it.
By the way, how awesome is Max von Sydow? He was only in his 40s when he made this. That's what I call some amazing old age makeup. It's been over 4 decades, and he only now is starting to look like Father Marin in real life.
What is your daughter's middle name, Mrs. MacNeil?
Teresa.
What a lovely name.
The Exorcist had 2 direct sequels and 2 prequels. Well, actually 1 movie made by 2 different directors, but let's not get started on that. And even though Exorcist 3 and Dominion are pretty good, they don't even come close to capturing what makes the original work. Bottom line, the entire franchise was unnecessary. It was re-released to theaters in 2000 as a director's cut with additional scenes. Although I feel the original version was the better movie, I almost prefer the director's cut if only for the spider walk and extended ending. I feel it finishes the film on a better note than the theatrical version. The Exorcist doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like a glimpse into real-life events, which is surprising considering how much it draws our attention to movies and cinema in general. It doesn't matter if you believe in God and the devil, or even the powers of good and evil, because the bare fact of the matter is that while you watch The Exorcist, it makes you believe. And there are few things more frightening than the face of pure evil.
You son of a bitch!